Hey guys, it's Mike from Eldorado Guitars, and today we're going to drink a beer and we're going to talk about why YouTube gear people like Fluff, Henning, etc. are getting so much shit from the community. Okay, and in order to explain this, I'm going to use 4 examples, and it's irrelevant whether you're interested in these examples or not. They're just examples to explain my point, okay? So the first one is Major League Baseball. The second one is Facebook. The third one is Uber. And the fourth one is Airbnb, okay? And I'm gonna do this with as minimal cuts as possible because I kind of just want this to be a rant. This has all been floating around in my head for like a week. Okay, so let's set the stage first. Why am I talking about this? Fluff from Riffs, Beards, and Gear posted a video about the state of guitar gear marketing, okay? And while I think he was dead on with a lot of his thoughts, he basically got flamed by the community because the community sort of said, hey, this is a problem that you were instrumental in helping create, right? Pot, meet, kettle kind of situation, right? And then Henning, I don't know how to pronounce his gear name channel, I'm sorry, it's like Eachit's Pie or something like that. I love Henning, he's very cool, right? He's like no other YouTuber, I love that guy. But he did a video also about like this topic, right? And kind of like, after Fluff took his video down, during the time that it was down, Henning posted his video, and he basically equated this whole thing to like a job, right? A job. He's like, I don't understand, like I have a job, you have a job, I get paid to do my job just like you get paid to do your job. But I think that's also a flawed way of looking at it, okay? So let's talk about maybe some of those things those guys got right and some of those things that those guys got wrong through the context of these 4 examples, okay? So first, let's talk about Major League Baseball. Okay, so Major League Baseball. All right, so back when I was a kid in the 80s and 90s, scouts mostly found baseball players in the minor leagues or college or whatever, relying on instincts. Instincts, basically, right? They knew what a good pitcher, quote unquote, looked like, right? They knew what a good hitter looked like. They knew about swing angles and stuff, you know, and they said, oh, this guy's got a good swing, he follows through, he always brings the ball bat back, elbow up, right? Like yada yada, whatever it is, right? And then in the late 90s, this thing called sabermetrics started to catch on. Sabermetrics was this concept created by this guy, Bill, what's his last name? I don't know, it doesn't matter. But basically what he did was he applied statistics and data to baseball, all right? And he basically said that if you followed his method of sabermetrics, which is doing the math of baseball, like his argument is that baseball is all math. That's what it is, it's all math. Because the season is so long, people take so many at-bats, you play the same team so frequently, yada yada, that basically you can math a #1 team, okay? And as long as you ignore those scouts that used to identify these people based on instinct, forget instinct. His argument is instinct is wrong, math is right. And so he created sabermetrics to basically say, hey, if everybody followed this, you would have more hits, more runs, you'll end up in first place. Now this might sound familiar to you because this was romanticized in a movie from the early 2000s called Moneyball, starring Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill. Okay, great movie, love the movie, it's awesome, okay? But basically, Brad Pitt plays Billy Beane, who's the manager of the Oakland Athletics, or the GM of the Oakland Athletics, and basically he's got all these scouts telling him, you should take this guy, you know, bring Giambi back, bring this guy back, and he doesn't do that. He listens to Jonah Hill, who's a sabermetrics believer, and they fire all their best players, and they pick up all these guys from the minor leagues that nobody's ever heard of, but that the math for those guys works out, right? And so basically what happens is they have the longest winning streak in Major League Baseball history. They go to the playoffs. They make it to, I think, the conference championship, and they lose, okay? And then he gets offered a job with the Red Sox at the end, yada, yada. Okay, the bottom line is that sabermetrics changed baseball forever. Okay, the math of this changed baseball forever to the point where everybody started doing sabermetrics, right? So if you were a fan of the Major League Baseball, like say in the 2010s or into the 2020s here, we'll talk about it in a second, okay? But in like the 2000s and the 2010s, once everybody started doing sabermetrics, baseball became boring as fuck. It became so boring, right? It was because it became all math. We allowed all these, teams started picking up all these weird guys that had really good numbers, and we started doing shifts in the field. So like what they did was they basically said, well, this hitter, Mike, hits the ball to the left-hand side of the field 63% of the time. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna shift everybody, our second baseman, our first baseman, everybody, over to the left-hand side of the field. And if Mike hits it to the right, then good for him, he'll get a double or a triple, but that's not what the math says. Over a long enough period of time, 182 games, Mike is going to hit the ball that way 60+% of the time. So we're going to move everybody over to that side, right? So what happened? Runs were down, home runs were down, hitting was down, like everything. Baseball got really boring. Scoring went down. The amount of time for a pitch took forever because everybody was trying to analyze. They're doing shifts between each pitch. They're trying to analyze, well, when this guy gets a strike and then a ball and then a ball in the dirt, this is typically what happens, right? And so this is the important takeaway. What sabermetrics did is sabermetrics took the fun out of baseball. That's what it did. It took the fun out of baseball. It became a numbers game instead of an instinct game. It became ones and zeros instead of art. And that's what ruined baseball. So you've seen Major League Baseball react to this. What did Major League Baseball do in the last 5 years or so? They put in a pitch clock. They stopped allowing shifts. They stopped, what else did they do? Like shorten time between innings. They changed the rules for extra innings to make the game move faster, right? Because baseball realized, MLB realized that the games were getting boring as fuck. Essentially what we, as humans, had done, we had taken the fun out of baseball. That's what we had done, okay? We had ruined it with numbers and data. And instead of being art or competition or instinct or ability, it came down to numbers. And people found that very fucking boring, okay? So that's example number one, okay? Now you're like, Mike, what's the point of this related to guitars? Just bear with me, okay? So Major League Baseball, that's example number one. Let me have a drink, example number two. Okay, so example number two is Facebook. All right. I know, we're talking about fucking Facebook. Okay, so Facebook, all right? Now, if you're old as fuck like me, you remember the first days of Facebook. I remember going on Facebook in like 2009, and Facebook was like a wild, unhinged place, right? There were no ads. Your parents and shit weren't on Facebook, right? It was basically, you would go and just write whatever you wanted. I remember writing posts like, man, my boss is keeping me late today, what an asshole, and like putting it on Facebook, right? And people did that. It was very normal, right? People would be like, oh my God, I went out with the guy last night and we hooked up and like, I can't believe I'm gonna go out with him again tonight. Like people would just post shit. It would be like, my employer sucks. I hate, my brother's annoying me, blah, 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 blah. My dad's an addict. And, people would post like any kind of random weird shit, real shit, right? Like real shit that we as people were dealing with, okay? So Facebook used to be, you guessed it, fun. It used to be fun, right? And then what happened? Corporations got a hold of Facebook, right? Facebook needed to make money. So they started selling your data. And then companies got a hold of it. And then companies started posting ads on Facebook and targeting you with those ads. And then companies started having Facebook pages. And then your parents wanted to get on Facebook because, oh, the sale at this shop down the street that I go to is, they have coupons on Facebook, right? And so what did we as humans do, again, with Facebook? We took the fun out of it. We took the fun out of it, okay? Third example, all right? Airbnb. Or am I supposed to do Airbnb or Uber? It doesn't matter. Let's do Uber. We'll do Uber, okay? So the year is 2013. I was living in Baltimore at the time, and I was working for this company called Betamore, which is a startup incubator. And there was this girl there who was always so busy. She was flying around the office. She's always, had a ton of guys coming up to her, usually like Middle Eastern guys and stuff. It was kind of odd, right? But it was like, all right, whatever, and it was all business, right? But it was, and the girl's name was Melanie Curtin. I think she writes for Inc. magazine or something now, right? But she was, okay, so Betamore was this startup incubator, and my company was a startup that was in Betamore, but she was with this company in Betamore too, and I went up to my coworker, Kelsey, and I said like, hey, what is the deal with that girl? Why are all those guys coming in? And like, why are they all dressed in suits? And like, what's going on? And she's like, oh, it's this new thing called Uber. And I was like, what is Uber? Okay, and so like that's what Uber was in 2013, okay? It was literally like a company based out of San Francisco that was expanding into other markets. And I remember Kelsey telling me, oh, Uber's so great. You get in, there's no, there's no cash, there's no tipping, there's no bullshit. You can see exactly where you are on the map, right? You put in your destination in your phone and they take you right to the destination. You don't have to tell them, make a left, make a right. They take you some wrong way, or, this is Baltimore, right? They take you through the hood or something like, no. You see exactly where they're going. They pull right to the curb, you get out, no cash, no like, oh man, sorry, my card reader's down, give me $50, like there's no bullshit, right? It was fun. It was fun. Taking an Uber was fun, right? It was like, oh my God, this is so great. It's so much better than a taxi. Like I said, all the things I just said, right? It was fun. How does that relate to your Uber experience today? Today, Uber is like a fucking nightmare, right? I mean, seriously, no one's happy with Uber right now. Drivers aren't making any money. Uber's not making enough profit. We have to tip on every Uber ride now. There's different ride tiers. They're charging you different things. If you're willing to share an Uber with someone, you can get a discount. If you want a black car, you have to pay this. If you want an SUV, you got to do this. You can't have more than 3 people in an Uber. Is the employee of an Uber, or is the driver of an Uber an employee? And right? And it's like, it wasn't always like that. Uber was fun. There was a time when Uber was fun, but what happened? Humans, we got a hold of it. The corporations and stuff, right? They got a hold of it and they wrangled all the fun out of it. Just like what happened at Facebook and just like what happened with baseball. They wrangled the fun out of it, okay? Last example, I think you get where I'm going with this, okay? But one last example, which is Airbnb. Can we all talk about how annoying Airbnb is now? Everybody's going back to hotels, right? But there was a time when Airbnb was fun. There was a time where Airbnb was great. It's like, oh, I have an extra room in my house. Why am I letting it sit empty? It's a guest room. I rarely have guests. Why am I letting it sit empty? I should just let that room out on Airbnb and I can make $100 a night and, maybe meet somebody cool and make a friend. How awesome is that, right? And it was cool for a while and it was fun, right? And then what happened? You guessed it, the corporations got a hold of it and they wrangled all the fun out of it, right? They just strangled it. And now Airbnb's turned into a thing where people are buying 50 properties and putting them on Airbnb, and you can tell who these people are because you look at the photos and they all have a unicorn in the pool, right? And it's owned by some property management company and they're trying to make money on this, and like half the homes in some vacation areas are owned by companies that are trying to do Airbnb for profit, right? And now everybody's going back to hotels because at an Airbnb, you're now paying more than a hotel. I've got to do the dishes, clean the house, shut all the doors, no shoes inside, party monitors. Like one Airbnb I stayed at had a party pooper or something it was called, where like it's a thing you plug in and if the decibels go over a certain amount, the guy who owns the place gets an alert, right? They wrangled all the fun out of it, okay? Okay, so now I think you get where I'm going with this, right? The reason why everybody is so pissed at guitar YouTubers right now is because the companies have gotten a hold of it and wrangled all the fun out of it. Okay, so like it used to be fun. Remember, like you'd log on to YouTube and you'd be like, oh cool, there's like a new guitar that Fluff is showing today, sweet, or like, oh, Amp Wars guy has a yada yada yada, has a new amp and we're gonna go check it out. And it was fun, right? It was fun, it was interesting. You logged onto YouTube with like excitement, right? To be like, oh, let's see what this guy's got, or maybe it wasn't even an influencer, it's just like you were seeing videos from all kinds of people, right? So let's say you looked up like, I don't know, a Boss SD1 distortion pedal, right? Fluff or Henning or any of these guys didn't come to the top of your feed, right? You've got all kinds of crazy stuff, right? Everything from maybe pros or semi-pros or studio guys like Tim Pierce, all the way to like just guys like me that are just, guys that are local giggers and collectors, right? And you got a wide variety of opinions from a wide variety of people doing a wide variety of experiences with this. And it was fun. Right? It was fun to see like all these different people and what are they doing? And you might say, oh, this video was really great. Ah, this video was shit. This video is shit, but the sound is good, right? Or this video looks really polished, but like it's too stiff, right? Or whatever it was fun, okay? And then what happened? Okay, Henning, here's where you're wrong. Then it became a job. That's when it became unfun. It became unfun when it became a job. So when Henning's like, I don't understand, like this is just a job and people are paying me for a service, that job shouldn't exist because that job wrangles the fun out of this whole thing. Guys like Fluff and Henning and whoever else, I don't want to call YouTubers out, right? But they're strangling the fun out of everything. You know, and then they get defensive about it. Like Fluff got all defensive in his comments and put stuff like, I don't do demos, I don't do reviews, I do demos. Nobody cares, right? You're taking all the fun out of it, right? Like, you know, and you know, it's you know, or saying I'm just doing a job. You're strangling all the fun out of it by making it a job. That's why I refuse to monetize my channel. That's why I refuse to make money off of YouTube. I do this for fun. And that's why I can give you guys honest opinions, right? Like I always try and give pros and cons to things, right? Even if I have to fish for the cons or they're minor cons, I always try and give them to you. If they're big cons, I also give them to you. For example, the Friedman IRD review I just did, right? I explained, I think very clearly why I didn't like it, right? And that's something I can only do as a YouTuber that's doing this for fun because I haven't strangled the fun out of it by making an agreement with company X that I'm not gonna badmouth their products or that I'm gonna get to keep the product or that, you know, in order to get more products from them in the future, I've got to promote this or I've got to make it positive, right? And so what everybody has picked up on in the community is that this is no longer fun. It's not fun. Fluff said it in his video. It's not fun to log on and see 100 videos of the Boss Katana 3. It's not fun to log on and see 100 videos of the Friedman IRX. It's not fun to log on and see 100 videos of the new Murphy Lab Les Paul, right? Like, and I don't mean to pick on any of these companies. I'm just using it as an example, right? So what is happening on YouTube right now with guitar gear reviews is the same thing that happened in baseball, Airbnb, Facebook, and Uber. Marketing companies, corporations have gotten a hold of our little demographic, our little universe of guitar gear people, and they're strangling the fun out of it by sending 100 guitars to 100 professional YouTubers that do this for a living. It's not fun, right? It's not fun. And don't get me wrong, Henning is fun. He's a fun guy. He makes fun videos. That ASMR video of Fryette was amazing. But you know what I loved about that? Stephen Fryette let him have fun. Did you see the interview with Fryette where he said, Henning kept wanting to show me the video. He told me it was weird. I told him I didn't want to see it. I told him I wanted something different. I wanted something that wasn't like anything anybody else is doing, and I don't want to see it beforehand. I want you to have complete artistic control over it. And it was a super cool video. Even if you say it's annoying to hear like, you know, during a guitar gear review, and it kind of was, right? Nothing else out there is like that video. That video is fun. Okay, aren't we all tired of seeing a video that's like, all right, guys, let's do it. And then there's some big intro that's like, dun, 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 you know, and it's like, dun, 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 and then the guy comes back, hi, I'm so-and-so. Today, we're gonna test out the such and such amp. All right, first, let's get to it. Let's hear it in a mix, right? And then we hear it in a mix. Then it's like, okay, so here's the features of the amp. And then they go through it. You guys already know where this is going, right? It's boring. It's boring. It's not fun, okay? So the reason guitar YouTubers are getting so much shit right now is because guitar gear YouTube isn't fun anymore, okay? It's not fun. And I'll admit, I've made some videos, right, that aren't that fun, but that's because I'm still a new YouTuber and I'm trying to just figure all this shit out, right? But if you're a Henning or you're a Fluff or you're a Robert Baker or you're a Rhett Shull or whatever you are, you should be doing like amazing, insane videos that are fun, not like these lame things of like, you know, let's try out a new pedal. Oh, it's another transparent overdrive, right? Who cares? Right? Or at least if you're going to do a video of that transparent overdrive, make it fun. Do something different. Put it in front of something else. Wouldn't it be fun to hear Fluff play a jazz standard? And I know he's going to say, well, I can't play like that. Learn to play like that. It's your job, isn't it? Right? You know, like do something original. Do something fun. Do something interesting. Okay? And I promise that on this channel, I'm going to make an effort, okay, to do more of that. Now that I feel like I've got a little bit of gear, you know, to do my recording and my editing and all that stuff, right? Like, let's do stuff that's more fun, even if it's going to get less reviews. Let me tell you something, okay? I'll end with this, okay, before this rant goes too long. My favorite videos on my channel are the ones that have gotten the fewest views. Example, I did a Friedman Naked in the Mix, a full song featuring the Friedman Naked, a ton of different tones, a full song that I composed with parts, leads. I spent hours and hours and hours recording it, getting the parts right, post-production, all that time to get that, to showcase that amp in a fun, original, new way, like a full song, right? Original instrumental song. And I think it's gotten like 900 views. You know, I did the same thing with, what was the other amp that I did that with too? I did it, what did I do it with? I did it with another amp that I'm brain farting on right now. I did it one with the Naked and I did one with something else. I'm sorry that I can't remember, but I did one with something else. I apologize, I'm brain farting right now. But the other one that I really love is the one about the Plexi, right? The one about this 1970 Super Lead rips. That video that I made is awesome. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's awesome. Like, I put these cool text over it so that it's short. It's like 3 minutes. You get a lot of information from the text on screen. I spent a lot of time working on the playing and the melody for the parts. I spent a lot of time in post-production working on it. I'm really happy with that video. It hasn't even gotten 1,000 reviews, 1,000 views. But a video that's like, let's review the Bogner Uber Ultra gets 5,000 views. Let's review the, you know, such and such pedal, whatever, gets a bazillion views, right? So I want to do more videos like my one that got, you know, these three guitars are insanely undervalued. That was interesting, right? And it got a lot of views, right? Or the video I just did about the Friedman modded Marshall, right? Got 10,000 views. And I'm really happy with that because it's an original video, right? I just wanted to showcase the amp and I put a ton of time and effort and work into that video. It took like 2 weeks for me to make that video. And I'm glad that it got some views. So my commitment to you guys is, number one, I'm not going to monetize my channel and I'm not going to wrangle the fucking fun out of Guitar Gear YouTube. This is supposed to be fun. This whole thing is supposed to be fun. Guitar, gears, YouTube, videos, it's all supposed to be fun. Music is supposed to be fun. So if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong, okay? That's the first thing, all right? The second thing is, I promise I'm gonna focus more on interesting videos like that and less on stuff like, let's review the Bogner Helios. Like, well, that's cool and it's fun and I had a good time making that video and it got a lot of views. I don't really wanna make those kinds of videos either, right? Let's all, as a YouTube gear community, challenge each other to make videos that are fun, different, interesting, and engaging, and stop worrying about money, influencers, companies, taking gear and then saying the views are my own. Stop it. Stop trying to make money off of YouTube. And that's the problem with all this, is humans have to wrangle the fun, strangle the fun out of everything for money. Stop it. Stop it. Okay? So that's why Guitar Gear YouTubers are getting so much hate, I think, right now, is just because everybody knows it's staged. It's not fun, it's staged, it's fake. You're seeing the same kind of reviews over and over and over from everybody. There's 100 reviewers reviewing the same product. It's boring. It's boring as fuck. So let's all have fun with Guitar Gear YouTube, okay? And let's try, I'm gonna try and make this channel, you know, authentic, real, not taking any money, and doing interesting, different videos, all right? So with that, I will say this to you. Cheers, guys. Have a good rest of your weekend. This is Mike from Eldorado Guitars. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. Thanks.